Hey guys, it's Hunter. Welcome back to another video. If you know my channel, you know I love single cuts. In fact, this channel is basically just a vessel to find the best single cut guitars on the planet. Some have described it as a hit list for Gibson's lawyers. Now, one I've always wanted to try out, but up until now has kind of eluded me, is the Schecter Solo 2 Custom. But now I finally have one, and not only that, but it's the brand new 2020 version. Let's take a closer look. New guitar, new guitar, new guitar. If only there was a big ass logo plastered all over the front of this box so I can know which brand this is from. Oh wait, there is. All right, let's see what we got from Epiphone. Right, Prinkle? I was wondering why this box was so heavy and bursting at the seams. That's actually really sick. I didn't know this guitar came with a hard case. Yeah, this case is a little too thick for the box though. You can see it's already beat up in a couple places, and that's not looking too good. But that's why these cases are included, to take the hits for the guitar, which is hopefully safe inside. All right, let's open this bad boy up. These latch mechanisms kind of remind me of backseat seatbelts in an old Honda Odyssey, but oh look at this guitar. Anyways, so here's the single cut. Nah, this is sick though. This is so unique on a single cut. I know burl isn't everybody's thing, but I fucking love it. From the stock photos, I wasn't quite sure what the blue was. I wasn't sure whether it like glowed in the dark or anything, but it looks like it's metallic paint. Maybe? But look at this abalone. Usually abalone is just so gaudy, but it works with this. I like how the headstock is basically just a reverse open book. Very subtle. Nut looks okay. G-string slot might be a bit odd. Oh, this little grooved rubber strip is super cool. Oh, and this like double binding on the neck too. The plush is pretty interesting. I thought it was like thick, soft plush. Nah, it's like pretty hard. Do you like that everywhere? Weird. Oh, love that. It's like glossy everywhere to give it a nice shine. But then satin for playability. Made in South Korea, if anybody was wondering. Thanks again to Schecter for sending this out. This is a great first impression. And we'll plug it in, play around with it for a couple weeks, and the next time I see you will be for the demo track. Ooh, cinematic pan. Right, Prinkle? So today's guitar is a little out of the ordinary, much like today's sponsor is a little out of the ordinary in a good way. That segue was terrible. This video is sponsored by the Ridge wallet. You'd think I'd at least be a little good at these by now. So the Ridge is a reinvention of the wallet for 2020. It's basically two metal plates bound by a durable elastic band. It's RFID blocking to protect from scanners stealing your information, backed by a lifetime warranty. You can carry up to 12 cards plus cash. It comes in aluminum, titanium, or carbon fiber in a variety of styles. Personally, I went with the most metal option, black titanium. Something I wasn't expecting. Since I've been using it, I haven't been carrying any of the extra crap like old receipts that I used to. So not only is it a sleek design, but it's also helped me streamline my life in a way. Weirdly fulfilling. So I love it. I think you'll love it too. Head on over to ridge.com/agafish and use the code agafish for 10% off. Link in the description. If for some reason you hate it, which you won't, Ridge offers a full refund and return shipping. So again, that's ridge.com/agafish, code agafish. And now back to the guitar review. All right, so I'll be real with you. I realize this finish is probably not for everyone. You probably already decided, even from the thumbnail, if you're Team Burl or if you're not. And don't worry, if the Burl isn't for you, the Solo 2 Custom also comes in other colors. You've got black flame and natural flame in gloss with chrome hardware, then black satin with gold hardware. Those versions come in at under $1,000 and share most of the same specs. So if you're one of those people that thinks the Burl looks diseased, or if you're not into the abalone, just bear that in mind. Most of what I'm talking about still applies to those versions as well. Personally, I dig the Burl tops. This one in particular. I really like how unpredictable and unique the patterns are from piece to piece. Like my Solo 2 Custom Burl will look different to yours and really anyone else's. I also like how they've used turquoise grain filler in the holes to accent the look, especially in the world of single cuts where, because it's such a traditional shape, manufacturers tend to favor more traditional aesthetics. So when modern visuals like Burl tops come around, they're especially exciting. There's also some slight quilt figuring to this one. It's super nice. Natural stained sides and back, very, very classy. It's always interesting to see how guitars in the real world compared to the stock images on the website, and I hope that this translates through on camera because I actually think this looks better in real life than it does even on Schecter.com. I will say that I was a little surprised at first that this was gloss rather than satin. I feel like Burl tops are kind of at their best when they're satin. It just feels more natural, which fits into the more raw, wild look that Burl gets you. Gloss, you get that literally more polished look, which takes away from the vibe, in my opinion. Now the abalone, it kind of reminds me of when I first heard about Schecter in the 2000s, and every single Schecter that I ever saw in shops or saw anyone play were just completely decked out in abalone.
I can't, I'm too shiny. Watch me dazzle like a diamond in the rough.
Just so much abalone. They kind of calmed down on that a little bit. Thank goodness. I don't think that the Mach 7 would look very good with abalone, but it is back in full force here. Well, I mean, kind of. It's not nearly as obnoxious as it was on Schecters in the past. It's not all on the binding, it's not on the logo. It is on all the block inlays, which is still a fair amount of abalone. And again, because abalone is so highly figured and each piece is different, it adds to the uniqueness of every unit. And the side dots are also abalone, which is a pretty nice touch. I usually find abalone really cringy, like gaudy, purely for the sake of being gaudy. But here, in the context of the rest of the guitar, I think it really works. Yeah, sometimes the problem with being a single cut fan is that we get such safe colors to try to capture that traditional vibe. And I wasn't sure if I just like this because it's exciting, it's not trying to replicate what we've gotten for the last 50 years. But even after a couple weeks, the novelty still hasn't worn off. I still think this is a very nice looking guitar. Now, for how it feels to play, I'll be honest, this actually really surprised me. I don't really know what I was expecting. I guess based on how the rest of the Solo 2 Custom models look, something more traditional, maybe? But this is a Schecter, and as such, while it does have traditional elements, they put their own modern spin on things. On the traditional side, this is a heavy guitar. Not super heavy, but like satisfyingly sturdy. Alliteration. This neck though, I thought it would be very similar to the one on my ESP Eclipse. This is actually even thinner than that, which I was not expecting. The fretwork definitely deserves a mention. It's excellent, as I've come to expect from Schecter guitars out of WMI in South Korea. One of the coolest things is that Schecter have decided to include a 12 to 16 inch compound fingerboard radius. That keeps the rhythm players like myself happy on the lower frets, then gives the shredders something to smile about on the higher ones. You see that on a fair number of Schecters, not often single cuts though, probably because they're not the modern shredder guitar of choice given the inherent upper fret access limitations, but I love that it's here. Speaking of upper fret access, Schecter's done something about that too. It's a little rounded at the neck heel, there's a slight bevel on the body. It's not the most elegant or even effective solutions out there, but it gets the job done and it is definitely an improvement over your standard Gibson Les Paul, for example. For hardware, Tone Pro's bridge and tailpiece, Schecter locking tuners, they all feel really solid, and I need to give a special mention to the control knobs. They're like regular transparent speed knobs, which is already pretty cool. Like I love transparent control knobs, but then they've also added a rubber strip with little grooves to the outside. So you know your hands are oily and sweaty and they kind of slip a little. Maybe not, but I definitely do. It's not a huge problem, but this is objectively better if you're one that likes to make more fine adjustments with the volume and tone pots, or especially for using the push-pull coil split, is pretty useful, and I definitely appreciate the attention to detail. Now, I was wrong in the unboxing. The case is sold separately. It doesn't come with the guitar, unfortunately. So extra thanks to Schecter for sending the case over as well, and it makes me feel kind of bad for saying this, but this is a review for you guys. I'm not the hugest fan of it. Compared to other hardshell cases I've used, the plastic is surprisingly soft and has a lot of give, and the inside plush is not very cushiony. I'm really not concerned for the safety of the guitar. After all, I got here perfectly fine, but this is definitely not my number one choice. It feels kind of toy-like, slightly Little Tikes-y, but I do appreciate how it has a TSA lock. Why more cases don't come with that, I don't know, but well done, Schecter. For pickups, we've got a pair of Schecter USA humbuckers, a Pasadena in the neck, and then a plus variation in the bridge. Now these are no ordinary proprietary pickups though. Schecter has a long history of producing aftermarket parts. In fact, that's how the company started. So by using American-made Schecter-branded humbuckers, that's a great way they were able to get high-quality pickups in this without raising the price tag too much. Obviously, this being the Burl edition is a little pricier, but like the satin black version, Korean-made at under $1,000, that's awesome. So I am so glad I finally got to try one of these because Schecter's done an amazing job here. It's a single cut with modern additions that make it objectively better. It's like a single cut with modern additions that don't take it too far away from that traditional feel. Basically combining the classic vibe I love with just objectively better playability in the curved neck heel, very solid build quality and fretwork, and then a subjectively exciting contemporary finish. So all in all, a winner of a guitar that they've created here. One final thing that I'll say about Schecters is that prior to spending a lot of quality time with more of them this year, I always felt like they had great specs, were good value for money, but at the same time missing something. Like great tools for playing music, but not very alive, if that makes sense. And there is a little bit of that here. I'm still not really sure why, because I love the specs and the look and the quality and the ideas behind the model. And this was a really enjoyable video to make. Just when I pick it up, there's a little something that feels missing. Not sure what it is, but that's how I feel for whatever it's worth. So if you enjoyed this video, do me a favor and hit the like button. These are, of course, just my opinions. I'd love to know what you think. Let me know down in the comments. If you're new to the channel and you like what you see, make sure to hit that subscribe button, and I'd really appreciate it if you hit the bell for all notifications. That way YouTube lets you know when I upload a new video. Social media, merch, and Discord server links are in the description. As always, thanks so much for watching. You've been awesome, and I'll see you for the next video.